guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, which I've never said before. I'm Katie. Welcome. Nice to have you. Just a little, I figured I would introduce myself because I'm brand new to the YouTube space. So my name's Katie. I am a knitter and I'm also a yarn dyer. Hello, it's me. From where I'm about to edit this video, I literally finished filming 2 minutes ago. I've already changed outfits and location in my apartment, but I'm Claws Out Yarn Company. I should say that at the beginning of this video. Based in Boston. I live in Boston with my fiance and my 2 cats. Our 2 cats. And I've been dyeing yarn for almost 3 years, but I've been knitting for 20 something years, I think. I learned to knit about 20 years ago, and I became more attached to the hobby when I was in college. So for the last like 6 or 7 years, I've really been a serious knitter. There's a plane going over, so sorry. And now I have kind of branched out into the knitting and fiber online space. I'm big about yapping on Instagram, so that's where you'll find me the most often. And yeah, here I am. Welcome. So as my first video, I figured that even though it's February, I'm going to talk about my knitting resolutions for 2025. I really only have one because I don't really believe in forcing myself to like enjoy this hobby less or in different ways. So I have one goal, which is to knit through all of the sweater quantities of yarn that I have before I buy another sweater quantity of yarn. I have already broken that promise, and I will talk about that in a minute. But I have 9 sweater quantities of yarn that I started 2025 with. So I'm trying to knit those 9 garments and sweaters before I purchase more yarn. Again, I did purchase more yarn already. That doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to buy any yarn. Allowed. It's my money, my rules, my house. But I'm only letting myself buy like enough for a hat or a pair of socks or for accessories from people. So if I have a lot of friends in the fiber community, so I'm not gonna not support them, but I'm not gonna buy like 5 or 6 skeins of yarn. I'll just buy 1. So I guess I can dive into what I've made and what I'm making and what my plans are so far. On New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2024, I started a sweater. I finished it on January 31st, 2025. So it took me exactly 1 month, and it's right here. I have posted about this a lot on Instagram, so if you follow me over there, you'll be like, please stop talking about this sweater. We get it. This is the Seasons sweater, Seasons pullover by Ozetta. I am obsessed with this sweater. It's all half fisherman's rib. As you can see, it's got this very squishy texture. It's amazing. It did take a long time. Well, I know it only took a month. It felt like a long time because when you work half fisherman's rib, you are basically working every row twice because you purl a row and then you have to kind of work into like, you're working like a row and a half at a time instead of 2 rows. It's kind of like that. I did twisted rib on the collar and the hems and the ends and stuff. And it turned out perfectly. So this was my first finished object of 2025, and it was also the first finished object of this sweater collection stash down goal. How do we feel about the word stash? I don't know. I don't think I like it. I think it's like hoardery, like the word. So I kind of prefer to use collection, but also people use stash more often, so people will know what I'm talking about. Either way, I love this sweater. It is worsted weight. I think the pattern calls for holding like a DK weight and a mohair together, or some other combination of a couple strands of yarn to get a fuzzy look, but I didn't do that. I just had the one. This is the colorway Appa from Red Door Fiber Studio, and it's from their, I think, one of their most recent greatest hits collections. I bought this in the fall, and I used most of it. I have one skein left. I have most of one skein left, and I bought 6 skeins because also fisherman's rib will eat up your yarn faster than, say, like a standard sweater. So this is the best thing, and this sweater is near and dear to me and will always be near and dear to me because I was wearing it when we got engaged just a couple weeks ago in Utah. We were on a hike and I wore this, and now there's beautiful professional photos of me wearing this sweater. So I'm very proud of this. I'm very proud of the fact that I finished it. So this is the first of 9 sweaters that I want to make this year. 2 others are in progress, so I'll show you those now, and then I can get into the sweater quantities that I have not broken into yet. Okay, so the next sweater that I am working on is actually a test knit. I used to do a lot more test knits, and now I only do like 1 or 2 a year because I am a very personal knitter, and I like to knit on my own timelines and have my own schedule. But there's some designers that I love knitting their patterns, and when they put out a test call, I'm there. So this sweater and this yarn, I'm on the first sleeve right now. Goes this way. I love this. It's like fall in a sweater. This is going to be the Study Hour sweater by Perfectly Knotted, Claire Jackson. I think it's releasing in the spring. And I am using, this yarn is Mulled Cider on DK by Honey and Quill, who's my friend McKenna, who's also a local Boston dyer. And I love her stuff. I don't think I've missed a collection of hers like for like 2 years. I buy most of her yarn because I just think it's so lovely and she's so good at layering color. So this is it's got a V-neck, so that's what this is. So it has this really cute little like garter stitch detail on the shoulders, which I really like, and the V-neck. I am making, this pattern is going to come with a like a higher V-neck option and then a lower V-neck option. So I did the lower one. So now I'm just working away on the sleeves, Sleeve Island time. And I love it. I think this pattern is delightful, and Claire is one of those designers that I was talking about where I will knit like anything she makes. I think her patterns are really clear. Everything is divided up by size, so you don't have to go like hunting through the parentheses for what size you're making. This is the skein of this yarn. So I actually purchased this sweater quantity from McKenna to make a different sweater, a different DK weight sweater. But I hadn't cast it on yet, and I bought this this was one of her fall collection. It's Mulled Cider. It's like fall in New England. So I purchased this in the fall sometime, and I had all these plans with it, and then the test call came out for the sweater, and I was like, oh, just kidding, we're gonna make this instead because this is way more up my alley, and Claire is a designer that I know, and I love supporting designers that I am familiar with because I know I like their patterns, and I don't have to like learn how they write stuff and do, you know, what do they mean when they say pick up this many stitches, you know, that sort of thing. So I'm very excited about this. I actually made this one long enough. Most of the time I make sweaters that are like cropped. So this one I made long enough to not be cropped, which yay, go me, woohoo. So I'm obsessed with this. It has, these are set in sleeves. So you knit the back, then you knit the front half, the front, join the fronts and the back in the round. And then you just pick up stitches for the sleeves later, so there aren't any live stitches or anything. Whereas the season sweater that I showed earlier was knit with a circular raglan yoke. That's not a circular yoke. A raglan yoke, not circular, but top down all in one piece. Whereas this was kind of whatever construction that is where you knit the back first. I don't know. I'm a pretty experienced knitter, but I like don't care about what things are called. So that's me. Before I talk about the next sweater that I've been working on, I realized I didn't talk about what I'm wearing. This is my Stick Season sweater by the Rebecca Clow, the Crayabia. I love this sweater. I wear this all the time. It's actually destined for a bath today, later today, so that it can get refreshed. But I love this sweater so much, and I'm actually going to talk about the dyer who did this a couple times in the future because I have 2 sweater quantities from them. But I love this sweater. It's knit up in, this is Summit and Skein, who's an Alaskan dyer. Her colorway, the Narrows, from her very first collection. Are you kidding me? It's so beautiful and even and perfect. I love this sweater. So this is one, I wore it yesterday. No, I wore it 2 days ago. I wear it all the time. I wear it at least like once a week when it's colder out. It's very like still flowy, but warm. So great sweater. Anyway, on to the next. So now that's 2 sweaters, the Ozetta pullover, the Seasons pullover, and the Study Hour sweater. Those are the first 2 adventures that I'm having in my sweater quantity stash down, and then I have another one. So that's 1 sweater that's completed, 1 sweater that's on Sleeve Island, and then this one that I'm about to show you, which is, it's coming along. We're getting there. So this one, look at that. Are you kidding me? This is the Little Crystals sweater by, hold on, not me not doing any research or anything, by Celine Phaeton. Phaeton. Little Crystals. This pattern was suggested to me as a sort of dupe or alternative for the porcelain sweater. I'm never going to make the porcelain sweater. I don't support those designers that don't make size inclusive patterns, first of all. And size inclusive is up to at least 60 inches of a full bust, graded well up to 60 inches with including ease. So like if you have a sweater that goes up to 60 inches that you're supposed to wear with 2 inches of positive ease, then it's really just a sweater for a 58-inch bust, you know? This one doesn't do that. This one goes up like pretty far, I think, and it's all over Colorwork, which is what I really appreciate. This one goes to size, graded for upper bust, inches 66. It's 10 sizes, goes up to 66 inches in the bust. So this is another one where you have to knit the back first. Back panel, then you have to do one front side, join the fronts together, knit those for a while, and then finally now I'm joined in the round and I've done a few rows. It's all over Colorwork, which is very exciting. And this sweater, it's very engaging. It is also slow. It's a little bit faster now that I'm fully in the round, but I was having to purl the Colorwork for most of the flat parts, which is like not my favorite thing in the world, but I did it and it's gonna look really nice when I block it. So this one is knit in Mezzo Makes. Mezzo Makes this whiter color, which is kind of like a warm multi-toned white, is Mayonnaise, and the brown color is A New Start, Anustart. From Kate's Arrested Development collection. I love Kate. Again, another designer who I'm like, you're putting out yarn, I'm gonna buy it. It's coming home with me. I have so many things made in her yarn. So this is gonna be like my magnum opus. I love it so much. I'm very excited. I think look at how the back looks. You can really see how the Colorwork's coming together. This part that I'm on now, down at the bottom, is going to be stars, which is super lovely. So this is a fun one, but it's not, you know, it's clearly not like a mindless project. This is a project that I have to really focus on. So it's been in my work backpack for a couple weeks, but I am starting a new job Monday. Whenever this comes out, I'm starting it on Monday. And this will not be able to be in my work backpack anymore because I'm gonna have to be like really locked in and focusing on my new job. So this might become my watching TV that I've watched before project. And maybe like this, the test knit that I'm doing that's just on sleeves and it's very simple decreases. That one can be my work project. Yeah, so those are the 3 sweaters that I have. There is kind of a theme of whites and browns, warm whites and browns in these, which I'm realizing. But those are, so I've got the 1 finished and 2 projects on the needles. So out of 9 total sweater quantities, that is a third of them, which is pretty good because we're only like 6 weeks into the year. So I'm pretty proud of that. So that leaves 6 more colorways, or 6 more sweater quantities to yap about. I think, should I go with the oldest sweater quantity I've had or not? I do want to point out the little crystal sweater is also all on worsted weight. I'm trying to finish my worsted weight projects before it gets too warm here, although it has been freezing or below for like 2 months straight in Boston. So I don't know when we're gonna have warmer weather again. It's a miracle that the sun is out today. So actually I'll go to my next worsted weight project because that'll probably be my next cast on once I finish the study hour test knit, because that one's the closest to finishing. This, I have, it's so soft. This is from the Painted Fern Fiber Company. Look at how beautiful she is. This is from Diana's Frankenstein collection, and this is called Cursed Creator. I'm so excited. I have a bunch of these, and I'm going to make so this is also worsted. It's superwash, very, very soft. Highly recommend. This is going to be the Sunset Sweatshirt by Jessie May, which I made a lot of her patterns a couple years ago. I tested one pattern for her last summer, and then I was kind of like, okay, I'm done. I'm kind of bored of her patterns. I'm going to do something else. But the Sunset Sweatshirt has really been like calling me. It's been in my favorites on Ravelry for a while. My Ravelry is going to be linked below, so if you care about what I'm making, I try to keep it updated, but it's not perfect. But that pattern has just been like staring at me. So it's like big, oversized, worsted weight, like boxy sweatshirt vibes with like wide sleeves and stuff. And I just think this would be really, really lovely. I just remembered that I have a 10th sweater quantity coming. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. But Cursed Creator, worsted weight, I am so excited about this. So this is gonna be the next one, and how soft this yarn is and the color. I don't really make red things for myself. Last year I made a lot of things like this color. I made like 3 or 4 blue-green sweaters. So this year the things I'm making are kind of trending warmer, although I'm looking at all the other yarns I'm gonna talk about and I'm like, that's not true. Those aren't warm. But this I'm very excited about. I'll talk about the other sweater quantity that just popped into my head. Treehouse Knits released her Noah Kahn Season of the Sticks, or whatever it was called, Season of the Sticks pre-order. I'm wearing my Stick Season sweater. It's appropriate. And I ordered a sweater quantity of the red that she did, which is similar to this. It's a little bit different. I can't pull it up on my phone because my screen time is locking all of my apps right now. But it's called This Place Had a Heartbeat, and I'll put a picture of it over here. But I got a sweater quantity of that to make another perfectly knotted pattern to make one of Claire's cardigan patterns. So I'm gonna have a dark red pullover, and then I'm also gonna have a dark red cardigan. But the Treehouse Knits dark red color is a bit more vibrant. This one is a little bit muted, as you can see. The Treehouse Knits one is more like more blood red, a little bit more vibrant-y red. So I will have 2 red sweaters, but they will not be the same red sweater. Although this is why I'm doing this challenge for myself. I forgot that I had bought the Treehouse Knits red sweater quantity when I bought the Painted Fern Fiber Company red sweater quantity. So I'm making very different things with them, but I'm putting this challenge on myself to not buy any more sweater quantities because obviously I'm not keeping track of them properly. So welcome to how my brain works. So next on my list is, speaking of cardigans and local dyers that I love, and going right back to McKenna, Honey and Quill, I have this. I have a whole sweater quantity of this. Can you believe? I can't. This is called Harbor. It is from McKenna's Cape Cod collection, which, like, I am born and raised in Massachusetts, and anytime somebody does Massachusetts yarn, I have to buy it. If you ever saw the Cop Slide yarn on Instagram last year, that was me. I did that. I also did the local coffee chain Dunkin' Donuts color. That is me. So if you're doing Massachusetts yarn, I am buying it from you. This one is on her Highland DK base, so it's non-superwash, and the non-superwash fiber made the color speckles really bloom in this one, which I love. It's like it's based on a harbor on a foggy day, and you can see like the boats and the buoys and things, like, but everything's gray behind it. So I love this. So my original plan when I purchased it was to make the Louder cardigan by Rebecca Clow, who designed this. I think I'm still leaning into that. It's like a cabled cardigan, but I'm gonna have to like test. I never swatch. Fun fact about me. Never, ever, ever. Don't come for me. I just don't do it. I do it if I'm testing. So Claire, if you're watching this, I did swatch for your sweater, but I don't do it really otherwise if I'm knitting just for myself. But this one, the Louder cardigan has cables, and I really want this colorway to shine. And I also don't want it to be too busy with cables. So I would have to swatch this on the cables and see if the speckling in this is like too much for cables, if that makes it look a little wild, or if I could get away with it and it would actually look fine. It's obviously hard to tell when it's still in a hank like this, but if not, if the cables are too much and that cardigan doesn't work, I think I'll aim for another cardigan. I've never made one that I like. So I'm thinking this is my year, not only to do all these sweater quantities, but it's also my year of the cardigan. This one is a DK weight, so this is going to be more like a springtime thing for me. Like, it's so pastel-y and beautiful, like very Easter. So this might be my next one. I've also had this sweater quantity out of all of these the longest. It's just sitting in my closet, my yarn closet, and I really want to show it some love. So that's the next plan, Honey and Quill Harbor. It's just so pretty. It's so pretty, so soft. I'm very excited about this one. And I love McKenna by her yarn. Okay. The next ones that I have are by the same dyer that did this. So this is where we're going back into the cool tones, can you tell? I can start with this beautiful neutral. I also want to say, I feel like I'm showing a lot of neutrals here. The Ozetta sweater is neutral. The Little Crystals one that I'm making is neutral. This is neutral. I firmly believe in knitting and creating things with color, with as much color as you want, because I think it's really important that you are individual and not like conforming to what social media or whatever tells you to conform to. I know there's a lot of like beige knitting. There's a lot of commentary about that out there right now anyway, that I don't need to contribute to in this video, but if you see me knitting neutrals, it's not because I don't like color. I love color. I spend all of my time with color. I dye really vivid stuff. I love color, but I have picked up some neutrals, and that's okay. I'm just saying, just because somebody else makes a stockinette sweater in gray or beige, you can make it in hot pink or blue or green or whatever you want. And I highly recommend you do so. Okay, but I love this color. This is, again, Summit and Skein, who dyed this color. And this one is the Quiet Atlantic. Love that. This was, I think, Carrie, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this was a collaboration she did on an Ireland collection with another dyer. So it's Quiet Atlantic, Ireland. I live near the Atlantic Ocean. I was like, I need it. I have 3 skeins of this, which this is a fingering weight. This is my only fingering weight sweater base for this year. And normally, like last year I made a lot of fingering weight stuff, so I was trying to kind of get away from that this year, but this I'm very excited about. And you would think, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, 3 skeins isn't enough for me. I usually make a size large, size 4, whatever that is, so 3 skeins of something is usually not enough. But this base that she has, her C sock base, is 470 yards per skein. So that is over... I can totally do math. Oh, my mom would be so mad at me. My mom's a math teacher. 120. This is like 1,400 yards that I have, something like that. So I was thinking, my original plan was to make the DRK Dre Renee Knits everyday sweater, but I have kind of fallen out of love with her and her patterns. I'm probably going to do another video at some point about like how I feel about big popular patterns. Obviously I've already talked about the porcelain sweater in this video. It's not for me, it's boring. People say it doesn't fit, the sizing's bad, don't do it. And Andrea Mowry's pattern's kind of same. I have made some. Actually, I think I may have just made the wool and honey sweater, which I did like. That's a cool pattern. But her other stuff, I don't know. I've heard from people that it doesn't fit well. So I still have, I'm going to do the math because I really want to make sure I have this right. I was right, 1,410 yards. That's how much yarn I have to use for this. So I am open to suggestions about fingering weight sweaters that go up to 1,400 yards. I also just now have had the thought that I could combine this with some of my yarn that I've dyed. By the way, I'm Claws Out Yarn Company. I definitely didn't say that at the beginning of this video. That's my business. That's what I'm on Instagram as. It's all down below in there. But I could combine this with something that I've dyed to also make something interesting. So I have lots of options about this. I love this. Okay, I need a coffee break. Hold on. Okay. So here's my other Summit and Skein sweater quantity. This I actually have, this is a more general garment quantity of yarn. When I first started thinking about this resolution for decreasing my collection, I didn't include this one. I only bought enough of this to get to make a vest because I don't really have any vests. I have one, and I want more. So this is also Summit and Skein. This is her CDK. So this one is C sock. This one is CDK. They're both superwash merino and nylon. This is called The Surface. So cool. This is from Carrie's Oceanography collection. It's amazing. Her tonal colors are so beautiful. So I'm going to be making the All Season Vest by Noriko Ichikawa with this, which is exciting. This I think will also be towards a spring thing for me, because it's a vest. I can layer it with stuff, or I could just wear it with like a little shirt underneath and wear it to work, you know, like it's an all season vest. It is more flexible in when I can wear it, as opposed to all of these like worsted weight sweaters that I want to make. So this is very exciting. I love this. I just love Carrie's yarn too. She needs to dye more stuff so that I can buy it. Then I've got two, sorry, I'm getting a bunch of emails about my new job, so I apologize if you can hear those. I'm just gonna make that be quiet. Okay. Then I have two Colorwork sweater quantities. Obviously when I'm showing you guys this yarn, I'm not showing you how many skeins that I have, because that would be crazy. I would just be covered in yarn. So these yarns are both baby cat yarn. I cannot speak highly enough of Britta and her colorways. I have made so many things in her yarn. I have a couple things in progress. She says that she wants to be like the Sherwin-Williams of yarn. She does only tonal colors, solid colors, and they are so beautiful. She has such an eye for color. She really thinks through every possible colorway, every like iteration of a blue or a brown. Like this brown is called Bear Den. I forget what collection it's from. It's the one that's inspired by where she lives. And then this is called Morning Watch. And when I tell you, she has dozens of other blues and browns in her shop. These ones are so different from all the other ones because she totally understands like all the subtleties of dyeing and yarn and color. And I love that. So these two are gonna come together to be, I have to go back to Ravelry on my phone. It's like the one thing that I don't have blocked. Okay. These are going to be the Obsidian sweater, which I can't even believe I'm so excited about it. I love Colorwork. I need to do more of it. So it's the Obsidian sweater by Tanya Barley. The brown will be the main color and the blue will be the contrast. And it's really cool. It's got like, the color goes all over until a few inches before the hem and down the sleeves until a few inches before the cuffs. And I'm obsessed. I'm really excited about this. I have another friend who lives locally who's also going to be making this one, and we might do our own little tiny make along, which would be really, really cute. So this one, I actually have another Colorwork sweater that I started in the fall. That is also all baby cat yarns. It's also this base. It's Britta's organic DK weight. It's non-superwash. It's so soft and easy to work with and beautiful. And then the final sweater quantity that I have here, because the Treehouse Knits one should be at my house like on Monday. The final sweater quantity is another Colorwork sweater that is Explorer Knits and Fibers. This is my first purchase from them actually, even though they're so big, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be making the Instant Crush pullover, which has like a bunch of colors in it. So this is going to be my main color. This is from the Farmer's Market collection. So it's the Cashmere DK base, so obviously it is like so soft. This one is No Big Deal. So this one is going to be the collar as well as the main color. Love that. And I just kind of like played around. I was like, I don't really care. Like I do care what colorways went with this, but I wanted it to be just like kind of fun and silly. I got this one, which is Botanicals as the main color. This one is Shiitake, like the mushroom. And then this one is Freshwater Mussels, because I'm also a seafood girly. So this, it's got like some variegation in it. So these 4 colors together are going to become that sweater for me. And I haven't used cashmere in a base before, so that is exciting. And I'm really looking forward to make, I've had the pattern saved for a long time, and then I was like, okay, I'm doing it, it's happening. And so this is the final one that I have in-house. But that leads me straight into talking about how I failed my little plan already. So Allie of Explorer Knits and Fibers also released the Iceland collection a couple weeks ago. And I didn't buy anything the first time that she had the pre-order open. But the second time the pre-order opened, I was in Utah with my fiance, and we had become fiancés 20 hours before this. We were driving, and I was just really happy, and I was in a really good mood, and I was like, you know what? I saw that her pre-order is open again, I'm gonna buy something. And within that pre-order, she included some kits for doppio sweaters, which is a very popular pattern. It's like a big gauge. You hold 3 strands together at the same time, like 2 fingering weights and 1 suri or mohair or alpaca, something fuzzy. And she had 3 kits for that sweater in her collection pre-order that had like been developed by her and her team, like what their favorite color combinations were. And they were nice, but they weren't for me. I didn't really love any of them. And that collection, it's Iceland, so there's lots of really beautiful blues. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna look out what the totals are in the preset doppio kits, and I'm gonna make my own. So that's what I did. So I ordered, already forgotten, and I'm not gonna be able to pronounce any of these names either, which is great. I ordered oh, you know what? I was wrong. This is before we went to Utah. This is before we were fianced. I ordered the Katla Glacier colorway, which is here on sock, so that's going to be one of the fingering weight bases, as well as the Stroker Geyser on sock, which is so 1 blue and 1 gray that are both kind of multicolored. And then the Suri alpaca that I ordered is the Jökulsárlón. I don't know. Whatever. So that one is like a solid blue. So I have a multicolored blue and a multicolored gray on the sock weights, and then a beautiful tonal, like deep dark blue that I'm gonna use for that sweater. So that is like, so yes, I did break my sweater buying ban, but I did buy very intentionally. Like I know exactly what that yarn's gonna be used for. It's gonna be used for that sweater. And I also have never made one of those sweaters before. So I feel it's also, as I said before, is my money, my yarn. So I'm excited about that. And I know that it's a huge pre-order. And I remember when I ordered this, it didn't come for a few months, which is fine. I mean, it's like, they're a bigger company. That's the biggest dyer that I have in this whole mess of yarn. And so I don't care. Like, it'll come when it comes, and by then I will probably have finished another sweater or 2. So those are my plans. And then the Treehouse Knits one will show up, and then the Explorer Knits. So I think altogether that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11. 11 sweaters. So that's my goal, is to knit 11 sweaters this year and to just do them bang, 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 one after the other, because I want to use up all the yarn so that I can continue to support my friends and buy more of their yarn. And I finished one. I finished one, but I also have 2 more that are on their way, so that's pretty exciting. That's not bad. I'm pretty proud of that. So, I think that's all I have to talk about today. I am excited to be here on YouTube. I'm excited to be able to share longer form content. Someday, maybe I'll break into doing more vloggy type stuff, but for now, I'll probably just be doing videos like this. Like I said, I will most likely be sharing a video about like about how I feel about like bigger patterns and bigger designers and why I don't like them. I am not the person that has the strongest feelings about these things, but I do have strong feelings about some designers and why they're not doing enough. So that's me. Hi. Feel free to subscribe, I guess, and like this and share it and whatever. I don't know what you say when you finish a YouTube video. And I will see you on the next one. All of my like links are below, so the link to my shop, my Instagram, my Ravelry. I'm also on Storygraph. I'm trying to read more. That's all in there, and then hopefully I won't have forgotten a designer or a sweater or a yarn that I posted, but I will try to make sure that I included all of those. So let me know if I missed anything. Not in the description, those will be in the video. Whatever, it's fine. This is not that serious. So thank you for joining me, and just drop some yarn on the floor. So there you go. It's a good way to sign off. See you next time.